radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209. Give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com. Boom, 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 What it do? Oh, yeah, that's right in the way. Let me move that right out the way, dawg. I seen that in my own screen. What's happening? Y'all know what it is, homie. It's 360 the Poet, and it's time to holla at the homie. What up, McFadden? Good to have you in the building. What's up, Pam? Good to go. What's up, my good old neighbor? Good to see you, dog. The homegirl friend / family out there listening in. All my people that usually tune in and tap in, we gonna get y'all on here in just a second. Yeah, y'all may see me out there. I'm out here Marley up. Y'all know what it is. I told y'all we gonna talk a little bit of One Love, but I ain't gonna get no spoiler. I'm not gonna give no spoiler part in the film, you understand? I'm gonna let all the ones who have not been able to see it the tin yet, go and give them a chance to go on out there and check the film. But it was masterfully done. When I say masterfully done, oh man, we're gonna talk about all of that, but not a whole lot. We always got to make sure we're here to take care of what it is we're here to take care of. But I just got to say, hat off. Big ups to Kingsley Ben Adir, who played Bob Marley, and also Lashana Lynch. She played his wife, Rita. Man, that chemistry, on-screen chemistry was remarkable. That's what I'll say. It was remarkable, masterfully done. Performances were all magnificent. I got to clap it up. So if you haven't seen it, or if you don't have plans on seeing it, we got one question for you. How come you don't have plans to go out and see One Love? You understand? I'm going to know all the questions for you because it's going to answer a lot. It went deep. And like I was sitting here talking to the station owner. She's playing my engineer today. And she asked me, like, what did I think about? What do I think about Bob now that I saw the movie? And I was like, man, truth be told, it put me in the mind state. Bob Marley, to me, more so now than ever before, is like if you take, in my opinion, this is IMO, in my opinion, I always let y'all know these are my opinions. If you took Martin Luther King and merged him with Michael Jackson. So he's Martin Luther Jackson King Jr. Marley. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. He's something serious, man. Like, if you don't know the story behind it, I'm going to let y'all go check out the film. Again, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but just know it will be seen again by me and mine. You dig? We going to check it out again because it was worth it to me. It was worth it. Not too long, like an hour and 50 minutes. So they ain't gonna hold you up too long, but they gonna give you a chance to understand and feel that story. You dig? So that's how we doing it out here. But again, we are at the #1 advice column online or in person. So I always got to tell people what's up. But I always got to tell people, also give y'all my disclaimer. Now, no way, shape, form, or fashion have I ever been trained, professionally, or have I paid tuition to get trained in any psychology, psychiatry, counseling, or anything of that nature. But what I would consider myself, again, would be somewhat of a life coach, meaning I've gone through my life or lived vicariously enough close to some others as they went through their lives to where I can come talk you and help you through some of your life situations by squeezing out some of the game that I done sponged up through the years, right? So that's how we do that. So right now at Holla at the Homie, we always got a letter, and I always let y'all know that I don't tell people what to do. I just give you options of what can be done, right? So our letter comes to us today is talking about potential and gifts and things of that nature. So we're going to dive straight into it. You dig? So it says, "Dear Holla at the Homie, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing to seek your guidance on a situation involving a dear friend of mine. They possess immense potential and talent, yet seem reluctant to take the necessary steps to harness these gifts and move forward in life. I've observed their remarkable abilities, and it's clear that they have the potential to achieve great things. However, they appear to be stuck in a cycle of inaction. I've tried offering support and encouragement, but it seems like they are hesitant to take the initiative. I believe in their capabilities and want them to thrive. How can I effectively help my friend tap into their potential and motivate them to take the necessary actions to fulfill their dreams? Thank you for your insight in advance. Sincerely, concerned friend." What's going on, cousin? How you doing today? My cousin Love Trail over here on this side of things. She on Facebook on this side. What's buzzing, cousin? Love you. Mwah. But yeah, at concerned friend, we gonna talk to you today. So, first and foremost, I want to, I want to talk to you about it. I want to thank you for writing in. First and foremost, I always want to say that, because anybody who writes in, tunes in, or taps in, I always say you can be anywhere else in the world, but you right here with me for whatever time you are listening, right? So whether it be on Hot 702 on the app, or whether it be online or on Facebook or Instagram, either one, I do appreciate y'all because you took your time out and gave some of it to me. So again, with that being said, appreciate you. Salute. So, concerned friend, I thank you. It's uncommon for people to struggle with, you know what I mean? It's not uncommon. That's what I mean to say. It's not uncommon for people to struggle with unlocking their potential. So, in some ways, I kind of think this letter, once I went through and wrote down some of my points on how I wanted to attack this letter, I think some of them are, pointing right back at me. I'm not even going to lie about that. I always got this saying, like, when you point the finger, 3 of them point right back at you. That means me, myself, and I. That means that's where you inserted yourself into the situation to where that's why you were engulfed in this. Like, y'all out there, it's Valentine's Day today, right? So, love is in the air and things of that nature. So you got to be able to understand that in order with loving someone else today above all days, you got to be able to love yourself enough to believe in yourself, right? So, but not believing in yourself, you start pointing the finger at everybody else. So because you thinking that they're the reason why things aren't working for you in your favor. So, it's not uncommon for people to, struggle with unlocking their full potential, even when it's clear that they have remarkable abilities and gifts and talents and stuff like that, right? Because it's not you. You and your friends are not the only ones who know that they got it going on. They themselves understand that they have that. And sometimes that deals with, we gonna get into some of what it deals with as far as the person that's receiving this push from their friends in their inner circle, right? So first and foremost, right, I want to say there's a few things, maybe 5 different points that we're going to consider today, right? First, you got to say communication. I always talk about communication and how it's a two-way street. But the main thing you got to do is, what's going on, Keisha Hicks? Main thing you got to do is you got to listen to observe and not just listen to be able to respond to what somebody's saying, and you over there doing double dutch. You trying to jump in, and you missing a whole lot of what they trying to get across to you, right? So communication is the first thing. So you have to have an open and honest. See, that's where people don't get it. You got to be honest with your friends and your loved ones and the people that you care about. You can't sugarcoat things if you really want to give them a push. Because if you're enabling them. You are enabling them. That's the word you are enabling them to continue to do what it is they're doing, right? So you have to be honest with your friend in this conversation. Again, when you give them what you feel, you're hoping that they're listening to absorb it. So just be ready to absorb what they have to give you back, because some of that may weigh heavy on you. So you got to be ready for that situation, right? You got to ask them about, their goals. Some people may not even have goals and not know it because they don't know it until you ask them. I remember somebody asked me what are my goals, and I got mad with them asking me and told them don't worry about it because I didn't know them at all. I had no idea what my goals were. Like if somebody asked me, what do you want to do with blank? I was like, you know what I mean? I had no idea. So ask them about their goals. So in talking to them, you'll hear whether or not they have a clear understanding or not, whether or not that they're able to articulate what their goals are. That's part of the listening that you have to have in this conversation with them. You have to listen to the clues, the signals. It may not be what they say. It may be how they deliver what they're saying. That'll give you the signals to understand why they don't have any goals or if they have them or not. Ask them about their dreams. Because goals and dreams are two different things. People, you may be having nightmares about your goals. Excuse me. So, the dreams and their goals may not align with one another. They may intersect. So one may crash into the other in your mind. But if you don't have to address it, like I say, I got mad at somebody who asked me about my goals. But then as soon as they asked me about them and they broke it down to me like, you just mad because you don't have any. And then I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say ish. Slap across the face because they were right. 100%. They were 100% right. So after that, what do? You know me, 360. Will, Einstein, Lil Will, Coach. All my personalities came together and had a meeting. They said, huddle up. What the hell do we want to do? What are our goals? And I put some in perspective. So maybe after that open, honest conversation with your friend, this will spark a fire under them to, if they don't have any, to create some or come up with some, or if they have some, then they're just not structured, that they'll be able to somewhat harness them. They'll call their personalities in their mind to come together and huddle up and figure out what is the play, y'all. What's the play? How do we win in this game? We all players in the game of life, players in the game of work. Everything that you do is a game. That's how I look at it. You're trying to score. You're trying to be victorious in the things that you do. Hopefully you don't like just sitting on the bench while the game is going on around you. Because if you're not hopping on the back of those horses of your goals and your dreams, you sitting on the sideline watching them win the chip. Yeah, you may get a ring vicariously through being on the team. But what's your contribution to that ring? Is that your championship as well, or is it your team's? Some people sit back on the laurels of their team and they the star player and don't even exhibit it. May not even know it, or may know it but be timid about showing it because they, to some people, failure is worse than death. And to get really, really high up in the sky while doing something and then have to fall, smack down on the ground. What's up, Lulu? To have to fall smack down on the ground and be like, damn, I got to get back up again. Some of that failure to some people is harder and more unbearable than death. Do you hear me? So with that being said, exactly. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. With that being said, you got to talk to them. Find out, ask them what they think might be holding them back. Because if you really friends, like our first therapist, excuse me, y'all dropped my pen. Our first therapist are our friends and our family. What's up, Shada Sharon? Our first therapists are our family and our friends. We go to people because we run it by them first, right? So if your friend don't have a source of therapy, like somebody just asked me to run something by my therapist like before tomorrow. Like it's essential. They asked, should they make me an appointment while I'm on air type ish. Real friends will do that. Real friends will tap in like, hey, I notice things going, a little, haywire up in there while you getting things together. You need me to help you get things together on the backside. Real friends do that. So you are one of their first therapists if they don't have an outlet already, somebody that they can talk to and breathe upon that'll help them, guide them, a life coach, a therapist, whatever the case may be. What's up, Charles? Chuck in the building. Alumni prayers. Who's the real therapist in this? That you are one of their first therapists as their friend. Right? So ask them what they think might be holding them back. You never know what answer you might get out of that, right? You never know what they might say to you to say like, man, truth be told, nobody ever asked me that. And I really think it's blank plus blank plus blank. And what's in front of them, something they may see as an insurmountable wall or hurdle, you can tell them and give them the blueprint on a way to either go around it, go under it, or go through it. If you really want to be, if y'all really on the same team. If you really playing on a team, oh man, that's another thing about that movie today, man. Bob was so about his team. It was never about him. Y'all know what I call ego. Ego means eliminating the greatest outcome. Whenever you insert your ego, you eliminate your greatest outcome. Yes, that's a 360 original. Yes, I put it in the air years ago. But that is my definition of my acronym for ego, right? So it's never about like, well, I'm going to let them do it on them because I'm cool over here. No, if they're your friend, if you're really concerned about them not tapping into their potential, breathe on them. Don't give up on them. And most importantly, don't let them give up on themselves. Because again, when we looking at what we can do for ourselves, we get a 180-degree view. We can only see what's from here to here, right? From peripheral to peripheral. But as a friend, you're able to see the full 360 of 360. So if you can see 360's full 360, let me know what my 6 is doing. Let me know what you see from my 6, because it may not be the same thing that I see. You understand what I'm saying? I may have created this monster in my mind that is really non-existent and is really just a shadow of my own self. I am the bigger thing and it's a shadow of me and I'm afraid of it. That's what they mean by being afraid of your own shadow. Meaning when the light is shining upon you, are you afraid of that? Or are you going to let that shadow be your first guy that's going to lead you into the room? That's your security, because you got somebody that's big, that can be big in the light while you are in your spotlight. Woo! I'm bars today. Oh man, I'm gonna run this show back. I'm gonna write some of this stuff down. But anyway, so you got to talk to your friend, right? That's the first line of assistance, because we're not gonna call it defense, because we're not trying to stop anything. We're gonna call this first line of assistance, right? So with that being said, next you want to try to understand, like, what are the underlying fears and insecurities that they possess. Those are the things that may be hindering their process. What are the underlying fears? Like, again, like I said, you are one of their first therapists. Our friends are our first line of assistance. Our family, our loved ones, the people we breathe upon, the people we confide in are our first lines of assistance, right? So dive into those things. Try to understand, okay, if they told me this, I asked them what they thought might be holding them back. Now, what are the insecurities, the underlying fears? Because fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Learned that from church way back in the 90s. False evidence appearing real is fear, right? So things that you think are there really aren't there. So you're scared because you don't know what to expect. Fear is the unknown. Like, all the old proverbs people talk about, right? Fear is the unknown, stuff like that, right? So, try to understand what their fears may be that may be hindering their process, their progress, Sometimes it's not about lacking, the ability or the potential. It may be dealing with the personal challenges that are preventing them from taking the necessary steps. People deal with stuff differently, right? You deal with your things that's on your shoulders differently than your friends would, right? So how would you handle this? How would you prefer someone handle this as a friend if you had unlimited potential? Exactly. Nikisha Hicks says low key could be fear of success. That imposter syndrome, right? You feel like, oh, I don't deserve this. I'm afraid if I get there, or two-sided of it. What's up, Lucy? Hey, babe. Imposter syndrome or fear of success. If you're afraid to be successful, again, because when you get to a plateau, it's only way up, only way left is down sometimes when you feel in your mind. But I feel like your only limit is the sky. So are you going to sit there grounded with your arms folded and pouting? Or are you going to flap your wings, take flight, and actually fly? More 360 bars. So what are you going to do when you get up there? Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Inch Mob in the building. What's up, Sadiq? You know what I mean? So they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Nikisha, you said it right. They get up there and be like, oh man, so something's got to go wrong. Maybe you passed the wrong rungs. Maybe you passed the gone wrong rungs on the ladder of life, on the ladder of success. And you climbing, right? But the rungs behind you, karma's past you. You got past that. Maybe you slipped a couple times. Bow, but you got back up, kept climbing up that ladder. So you can't be afraid of the things that are in front of you if you continue to press forward. What up, Dakarai? Salute, homeboy. You know what I mean? You cannot be afraid of the things ahead of you if the things behind you have already been surpassed. If you carrying those weights with you, remember this. If you carrying your burdens per se, right? It's harder for you to climb because you can let those burdens go, release them to the universe, let them go. What's up, Donna Veezy? Release those burdens to the universe, and then now you can climb easier up that ladder because you're not trying to bring the things that were holding you back into your future. Why would you do that? Why would you bring a hurdle down the track with you? When have you ever seen somebody run hurdles in a track and field race and they grab every hurdle they go by or grab one of them in the middle and try to make it to the finish line with a hurdle in their hand? Nah, player. You want to clear those hurdles. You want to get rid of them. You don't want to bring them with you. Why would you bring the hurdles with you? You really slowing yourself down. You cannot win that way unless you just running against other people who bringing their hurdles too. If you're really running against those who are successful in your field, track and field, if you're really trying to run against those who are successful in that field, you're going to see they're not carrying their hurdles that they've surpassed with them. So I'd advise you not to do the same. I'd advise you to leave those hurdles behind you because trying to run with them is not going to get you to the finish line any faster. You dig? Remember that. And that's part of understanding the potential issues and fears that may be holding them back. Thanks, Rudolph. Rodolph, what's up? Speaking of track. Man, that 6'5" sucker used to speed down the track. We had a dirt track at Morningside. He's still running 10.5, 10.4. What up, Rudolph? Salute, dog. Man. But, so you got to understand, what are the hurdles that your friends are facing that are holding them back? See if they trying to bring those with them, because unless you ask, you won't know. You never know the answer to the questions you don't ask. That's the same on the opposite side of never ask the questions you don't want to know the answers to. So there's got to be a heads and a tails, a yin and a yang, right? So if you know that parable, that phrase so eloquently and well, you should know the other side. You never know the answers to the questions that you don't ask. So if you want to know why your friend is going through these things, ask them what they think they're going through them for. And you may get some insight that you never would have occurred. She said preaching. He said preaching Dolph voice. R.I.P. young Dolphy. But your next thing. All right. So we've already talked about communication and talking to them and finding out why they feel the way they feel. Right. Or you got down to it, or you asked them what they think might be holding them back. Or then after that, you've evaluated what these hurdles they may be bringing along with them. Next, comes encouragement. You have to be able to encourage the people that you want to see succeed. Regardless if they're surpassing you in the same field, if you still want to see them succeed, if they're surpassing you, if they're sitting on untapped potential, you have to encourage them to let it shine. You know, you have to tell the ugly duckling that they really a swan, metaphorically. Because I'm saying that not based off looks or anything like that. I'm saying that based off, the situation is ugly, but it can really be a beautiful situation if you flap your wings, baby. You got to be able to flap your wings, take flight, and fly. That's how you become the swan. And you got to encourage them that they are that. Let them know if you see that in them and they're not utilizing it, encourage them to use it more. Tonisha Bell, what's happening? Old school Inglewood, salute. You have to encourage them, to set realistic expectations. Don't tell them like, oh man, if you do this right now, tomorrow you be on. Nah, help them, because a lot of times people are afraid of the steps. Like, I got a poem and say, there's no elevator button that you can press that will take you straight to success. Nah, you gonna actually have to bust a sweat and take the appropriate steps. You know what I mean? So that's part of what you got to understand. You got to be like, again, go back to that 360-degree view that you have of your friend, right? You've got the 360-degree view of them. So you can encourage things step by step that are realistic, that will help them understand. It's like you being a tutor. Like if you've ever had a math tutor, if you've ever been a math tutor, math is universal. So these plans, these things, these numbers, they're going to add up. At the end of the day, they all going to add up. So you have to break down the problem. Help them break down the problem and give them realistic steps on solving it. Because it's a problem that they're not letting this potential out. They're not letting themselves shine. They are dimming their own light by lack of action. Inaction is a disease. How do I know? I suffer from it. That's how I'm able to tell. I was writing this stuff down. I was like, bro, you like talking in the mirror right now, right? You talking in the mirror right now. So some of my friends that's out there under the sound of my voice, or some of the ones who I know have more potential in themselves and they're not using it, I'm about to breathe on you. And hopefully you do the same to me. Reality is, the questions have to be asked by those who you care about. If somebody you care about asks you a question, you think about it differently. If you don't give a damn about who they are, then it's like a duck. It's water off your back. It'll never affect you, right? But if you care about the person that's asking you the questions, you digest it differently. And it's all about the approach. What'd you say, K Solo? You said, what if they have all the steps, but they keep adding more steps, which ultimately leads to never getting it done. In their mind, they're trying, but they're in their own way. And that's what I'm saying. That's what that 360-degree view is. If you see that they keep adding steps that are hindrances to them, find a way to point that out. Be like, hey, dog, yo, bruh, like, I see what you're doing there. I checked you. I see what you're doing. And that is a contribution to your journey. But you can be like Siri with a little bit of a navigation, alternate. I got an alternate route. If you look at it like this, see how you did this? See how this kind of goes that direction? And I know, of course, they think that those steps are necessary. But in the event that you know them like that and you love them like that and they love you like that, when you give it to them like that, because if somebody tell me like, yo, Will, like, why you not doing this, that, and the third? I'd be like, oh, man, I need to do this, that, such first. They'll tell me right now, nah, all that. I like to blank out my hard cuss words. They'd be like, all that, man. If you start right here, try this. So walk through it with them. Don't be afraid to metaphorically hold your friend's hand as they scared to cross the street. Because right now they got on blinders. They can't see the cars that are coming at them. They living in fear. You say, ask why 5 good times and then help them to see the math ain't mathing. Exactly. Exactly. Don't be afraid to help them understand. What's up, Denver Brigham? Tapping in always, 217 salute. Don't be afraid to encourage them and help them understand how the math can be mathing. Help them, tutor them, walk them through the problem, break it down, and they may see. They may see. Not saying this is 100% guarantee, because people be peopling. Just like math be mathing, people be peopling, right? So, to recap, we talking about a concerned friend who wrote in and asked like, I got a friend, they got unlimited potential and gifts, but they won't get out their own way. They won't do anything about it. So first thing we told them was communication is key, right? First thing we told them is you got to talk to them, be honest, and let them know like, hey, dawg, you not giving it I know you out there, you showing out, people applauding you, but do you know, I know that you could give way more than that, and you just doing it just on a humbug. You way more gifted than that. Be honest with them. And in that honesty, we got to ask their friend, what do they think might be holding them back from letting that out? Why do they still have their dog on the leash? However you can verbalize that to them, whatever words work. Why you leaving the horse in the stable? Why you trotting in a race? You know what I mean? Like, whatever you can, metaphorically put those words into their mind to show them that they really still at the starting line and other people are lapping them. And it's all because they haven't pressed the gas pedal. So we said that. We talked about and asked them what they think might be holding them back from pressing that pedal. But do it without judgment. Y'all know I always say I never went to law school, so I ain't got the right to judge a soul. And if you've never been to law school, neither do you. Even if you have been to law school, you ain't got the right to judge people in life, just in the court of law. You dig? So that's the first thing. We talked about communication. We also said try to understand, once they tell you what they think might be holding them back, the underlying fears and pressures and anxieties and insecurities that might be all wrapped up into that. Because we did talk about how as a friend or as a family member, as somebody who you love, you are one of the therapists of the people that you care about. You say the feedback you give today may not be used until tomorrow. Exactly. They may not use it right here, right now, but they got it. Because if you're communicating with them, they sponging some of that up because you won't leave until you know that some of it's absorbed because you're listening. You're listening to what they're saying in your communication path. Your side of the street is both driving and talking and relaxed cruising and listening. What's up, Leah Janae? Double Lee in the building. And then after we talked about understanding what the personal challenges that might be preventing them from being all they can be per se, we said you got to encourage them. Encouragement is crucial, right? For anything in life, not just pushing people to be themselves and be all of themselves that they got to offer. You saying it may take more than one conversation? Hell yeah. It's definitely going to take more than one conversation because you've probably nudged at them before about it. What you say? Denver said, after 3 discussions, I trust that you are who you are and I accept you for you. Love is the highest form of understanding. And I get that too. But in the event that you still, it may be in the back of your mind, be like, damn, I can't give up on them. I know they can make it. I know they can do what they trying to do, man. And I love this person. I care about this person. And I want them to be who they can be. Again, you can't just keep talking to a brick wall. I'm always going to be angel and devil's advocate. It's always something on both shoulders. You can't just talk to a brick wall, dog. But then sometimes you be like, yeah, but you can chisel away at it. The Berlin Wall came down after a while. People just stayed on it. If you've seen Shawshank Redemption, you'll see what a little pin hammer of encouragement. He said, may my wise words find you in action. There you go. So maybe you put it on them. And again, they may not use it today. But after that third conversation, Denver Brigg, they may be like, you know what? This dude been on me. King been on my head. You know what? Let me try something. Again, Shawshank it. Maybe they Shawshanking. And every day Every day they ting, 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 pinning away. But they got something in front of their efforts. They may be hiding their efforts from you. So you may still, you may Morgan Freeman them. You may just talk to them and be like, we just got to deal with what we got, And I get that. I get that, McFadden. You can't want their success more than they do. What's up, Blessed and Loving It? You can't want their success more than they do. This is true. And at times, you do sit back and you cruise. You can have a limit to how many times you tell them. But these are the things I'm saying, like in the beginning. Or maybe revisit them and ask them these questions now if you've already given up on somebody. Maybe you didn't ask them, what do they think might be holding them back? Because that's a very crucial question. That is a crucial question. To find out what someone's fear is and for them to be able to articulate that to you and be able to tell you and help you understand what they're afraid of in this capacity. We ain't talking about in all of life, but in this particular capacity, you got to ask them. Be specific with your questions. Same way people are with meditation and with prayer. Be specific with your questions of your friends. Ask them what they think might be holding them back and try to understand what it is that they're saying to you. Understanding is listening, not just hearing it. Like I told y'all before, my brother-in-law Cece said, you can hear music bumping down the street. But if you're not in the car, you can't listen to the lyrics. So you really got to be on that ride with them to listen and not just hear what they doing or what they saying and what they talking about. Again, you got to remove that ego and try to help them do the same, right? You got to try to help them remove their ego, right? By doing that, like I told y'all before, ego to me stands for eliminating your greatest outcome. Yes, we do. We all need uplifting and encouragement. All of us. So, like I said, in these words, writing down these words and these responses to this letter, I got to the bottom of some of my own fears and insecurities. I never understood what I thought nobody ever asked me what I thought might be holding me back. So it's a question you can get them to ask themselves once you ask them. Because just like I told you before, you know what I'm saying? Just like I told you before, like the guy, my homeboy asked me like, what's your goals? And I got mad at him because I didn't have any. I didn't know them. But that show made me rethink about them. That question being asked made me ask it of myself. And then I, on that, got on a whole nother journey and began creating goals or understanding what they even might be. Your friend may not even know. They may just be floating through. They may not even know that they are that talented. They may not even know that what you think of them is gifts or potential, or you see something in them because, again, they get a 180-degree view of themselves. But as friends and loved ones, we get a 360-degree view of what each other has going on. You see things that they don't see. So let them know. Ask the questions about, did you even know that you had this in you? That's another question. Did you know that you're revered as this in this regard in this particular area? So after you've communicated with them, after you've considered their feelings and what they may be going through, after you've offered encouragement, next you want to be supportive. Offer some form of support. Whether that be through, again, helping get them through the situation, whether it be giving them resources or connecting them with mentors or simply being there to, be a sounding board for them getting off their chest what they need to say. Sometimes like that sort of tangible support, the support that they, that they can like utilize that they may not feel anywhere else can make the world of a difference into taking the necessary steps to go in the direction they never knew they could. Tangible support. It makes the difference. talking to each other, communicating, understanding each other. Because it's Valentine's Day today, right? We talking love. So you have to have a love for somebody. We talking one love. You have to have a love for somebody to be able to really want to tap into them. If you don't love them like that, it really wouldn't matter to you. You wouldn't tell them once, you wouldn't tell them twice, you wouldn't tell them 3 times if you didn't love them. And we all know we step aside at times and get out of the way for people to get out of their own way. You can't catch everybody, but you can be there to be a branch to pull up out of the quicksand that they stepped in by not paying attention to what they had in front of them. You can always extend that branch to help get them out of that quicksand. But just like potential in life and success from said potential, just like being in quicksand, you have to know how, and you have to really want to. You have to have the will to get out of the quicksand. You got to know that sudden movements is just because you're trying to help me. Let me hurry up and do it right now. No, that's going to drag you down even further. You got to strategize with one another. Let's talk this out. Let's breathe. And let's get through this. If you care enough about them to be that branch to get them out the quicksand that they in. If you want to be that support, that tangible support that can make the world of difference. It really can, And remember, after all of that said and done, right, that change takes time. Nikisha Hicks said it earlier. She said that, they may not use it today. They may use it tomorrow. That's metaphoric, right? Change takes time. You can't expect, it's not magic. It's movement. It's changing your moves. It's not producing magic. Change takes time, and everyone progresses in their own pace. Just because you feel like if you were able to have those resources at your disposal, you would be in X, Y, Z. They may just be X. They may go to Z and come back and get Y. But it's not for you to ask why. If you see movement, then let them progress at their own pace. But just long as they moving, long as they showing progress, leave them be. Let them do it. But you can still offer encouragement. Be like, I see you. I see you. I see you getting it in. I see you took care of blank. I see your checklist getting smaller. It's so many ways you can verbalize to your friends and show support to your friends and your loved ones without always condescendingly saying something. Like, about time nah, man, who wants that? That's not encouragement. That's discouragement. Because now you've put a time on what they feel like they've already been moving on. Why would you do that to them? Be patient. Continue being that positive influence in your friend's life. Sometimes all it takes is support from someone who they care about or someone who inspires them for them to take the first step. What's going on, Salih? Sometimes it takes that. It takes that type of encouragement and the support and make a significant difference. What'd you say, Royal Nelson? Welcome to the building, Pop. So many people think knowing better is next door to doing better. The two are oftentimes decades apart. Be patient. Woo! Pass that collection plate for that one right there. People think, see, what y'all don't understand. He spoke in metaphors. Again, I love metaphors. He said, people think that knowing better is right next door to doing better, meaning the next step after you know better, you're going to automatically do better. No, knowing better may be in the neighborhood of doing better, but that may be around the corner. You got to get past knowing better. You may have to get past, knowing how. Then you got to get past, doing how. The TSDR, tell, show, do, and review. And until you review it, you still ain't going to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Until you do it, you can't review it. And until you review it, you still ain't done it. It ain't done yet until you look back over and be like, yes, I did that right. Yes, this is what we did, or this is what I did, or this is where we've come from and gotten to. Success stories. You said that was a good one. Thank you, Amber. That was, knowing better is not next door to doing better. Not always. May depend on, you may have acreage in knowing better. And then next door may be a half a mile away. So once you get that acreage, now you're on an estate and you doing better. But it's all a state of mind again. It's about how you, as the person who's receiving this encouragement, because if you may be the person who the person is writing a letter about in this scenario. You may be the friend who is writing the letter in this scenario. So on both sides of the coin, there's always got to be some movement. There's got to be some patience, because not only should your person who's giving you encouragement be patient, you got to be patient with yourself. Again, use my analogy like quicksand. You can't jump out of quicksand. When you realize you're in trouble and you seek the help and somebody offers it and you utilize that, whether it's knowledge they're giving you, whether it's an assistance they're giving you, you have to use it slowly and I ain't gonna say seductively, I'm gonna say methodically. You have to methodically get from point A to point B, meaning point from to point better. How are you gonna do it? Do it slowly. Do it thoughtfully. Do it in a manner in which you feel like you're not gonna lose yourself if you lose your grip. Because if you move too fast and lose your grip, now you wipe out. Now you done. Now you can't even get back to a point where you were getting your assistance because you tried to move too fast. In the poem If by Rudyard Kipling, it said, you should not look too good nor talk too wise, meaning don't do too much. Take it in, take that on, face value, utilize it in the way that'll be beneficial to you, but patiently. Everybody progresses at their own pace. You got to be patient and continue to be that positive influence in your friend's life. And you have to continue to be that support to inspire somebody to do better. That makes the world a difference. We had a bunch of real good dimes dropped out here today. People may not use what you got today until tomorrow. Somebody said that, they may be afraid of success. These are all valid points. Royal Nelson hit us off with that baller gym. That's, doing better is not next door to knowing better. And you should know the difference. G.I. Joe used to say knowing is half the battle. It ain't the whole thing. If you were a kid of the 80s and 90s, if you grew up in the 80s and, early 90s, you heard G.I. Joe. They said it. Knowing is half the battle. Now you got to apply it. You got to apply the knowledge now. You know what I mean? Why you think getting the job, you got to apply the job. To start to get to work, you have to apply. Application is the key to knowing where the job is, to knowing what you got in your corner. Now you got to apply what you know. Because in an interview per se, in the process in which you passing from knowing to doing, from searching to actually attaining, there's an interview process. You got to go through something. People going to ask you questions. And now how are you going to apply the knowledge and the encouragement that you got from your friends? When you tell your friends you about to go apply for this new job, they be like, go girl, or get them, dog. They're going to encourage you to apply your potential. The application process is where a lot of us get lazy. Cutting, pasting in real life in the application process, writing the same mundane things down in the application process, not really beefing up that resume. Denver Brigg over here on this side of thing. You know what I mean? Like the application process is where it's at. Let me see. We got what Denver. I'm gonna go live with Denver Brigg. We're gonna do this for the first time out here. Where you at, D Brigg? What'd you say there, Royal Nelson? Got to go through the fire. Got to sign up for the pain and discomfort for consecutive days, months, and years sometime. Exactly. You have to be able to go through the fire. What's up, D Brigg? What you got to say to the people, baby? What's your take on it, dog? Oh, Siri, we're not talking to you, Siri. We're not talking to you, Siri. I don't know if y'all can hear Denver over here on this other side. We may not be able to, but we're going to rock it out. Oh, I should have plugged my phone into the thing. Hold on. You know, all these technology things and stuff like that. Got to get you in the voice jack so people can hear you online, what you got to say about this whole situation. Booyah. What you got for me, Den?
What's happening, bro?
I got you. I got you in my ear, so people on Facebook hear you, people on Instagram see you. So what's your take on that?
I just jumped in. Catch me up.
So basically what we're talking about people that got potential and people that support them and be behind them, right? So what would you do as the supporter? We talked about talking to them. We talked about being able to understand the insecurities. We talked about encouraging them. We also talked about being patient. Because I saw you say over here on Facebook, like you tell them 3 times. After that, you get out their way and you trust them to be who they are. But dealing with that, you know, those questions and things like that, going back over to it, would you give them another chance at being able to try to redeem that potential with the questions that we talked about today?
So, like going in depth, the ones you hold dear to you and love, you're gonna continuously want better for them.
Yes, you will.
You know, I did put a limit on it at 3. However, you extend that sometimes.
Sometimes you do. Extenuating circumstances.
Yes, sometimes it's forever. Hello. I'm from the Midwest, so I did wipe my eyes and wipe my forehead.
You all good.
Things are a little different around here sometimes, so you got to stay in your partner's life that got 3 DUIs and still going to the liquor store driving. Right,
going through it to get to it. Right.
Yeah. You got to show them that, hey man, the grandkids more important than the liquor store, and maybe the kids want to see you sober one of these weeks.
See, and that goes back. That goes back to that point with the encouragement. How little tidbits give them realistic expectations. Like give them a small bite. Do this first. There's different rungs on the ladder. That's what you think. That's what you're saying. Beautiful.
Absolutely. And you know, you said something earlier that the attentive ear is what we miss.
Yes. You have to be able to listen to absorb, man. Listen to absorb.
Yeah.
So again, to all my people out there watching and listening, if you are one of these people that are giving the advice, like me, Denver, and a bunch of other people say, sometimes you're going through it with them for life, right? Sometimes you're going through this journey, depending on who they are in your life, there are extenuating circumstances that come into play. So with that being said, you have to be able to listen and feel what, sometimes it ain't about what people say, it's about how they move. So you have to be able to listen and absorb the body language and the verbal language. Because sometimes it's hidden dialogue behind the words that they drop into you. They may tell you one thing, but you hear the fear in their voice. So, Den, I appreciate you getting on with us today, bro. As always, man, 217, stand up. You got one more point for you go?
And with that attentive ear, you must have an instructive tongue.
Yes. Don't just take it in and not give them no game to put with it.
Nah.
You can't just absorb the problem and not give them the game plan. You can't play to be a coach and not give them the play to call. You understand what I'm saying? You can't throw the pass on the 1 yard line. You got to hand them the rock and let them cross the line themselves. Right, let them go in their own beast mode. That's what's up, dog.
As you've been saying, give them the proper instructions of, hey, man, look, I'm gonna jump down here in the hole with you, and you can stand on my back and get up out the hole.
There it is.
I got a rope.
Get in the foxhole.
I got a long rope. I got a cable tow, so I'm cool.
No doubt, baby. But again, appreciate you, D-Brig. One love, baby.
Yes,
and if y'all ain't seen the movie, go check it out today, baby. One love. I appreciate you, Did. Always 217, stand up, dog.
Right on.
Appreciate it, baby. In a minute.
Peace.
Yep. But yeah, y'all, so that's how it is out here, man. So once you get an understanding of what your people going through, if you continue to be an encouraging person in their life, then you got to be able to hold on to the rope with them. Like Denver was saying, it's metaphoric ropes, but people are always climbing out of something to get to something. And I say the crab in the barrel mentality is not each of us trying to pull each other down. It's each of us reaching back to pull each other up. But we have to have the strength at the top The ones at the top have to be willing to continue to stay on that chain even when you out the barrel. So as y'all going out of the barrel and y'all getting out of that barrel, continue to pull that people behind you. Don't let go until you know everybody is out of the barrel. That's my philosophy on crabs in the barrel. So each one teach one, continue to encourage each other. As always, I've been Holla at the Homie. If you got any questions, concerns, issues, problems, anything like that, what's up, Story of Rory? If you got any of those questions, concerns, you can always tune in and tap them in with me. Send me an email at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLA ATTHAHOMIE@gmail.com. And we're going to be here and we're going to get those questions answered. Again, I want to thank Royal Nelson. I want to thank Denver Brigham for popping on here with me. I want to thank Nikisha Hicks as always, McFadden Amber. Always, you got Dakari, Tonisha Bell, Anthony Rudolph, everybody that tuned in and tapped with me today. Hollering at the homie. Until next week, make sure y'all show some love today. It's Valentine's Day, but love on yourself as always. And I'm going to get at y'all in a minute.